Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns went on a hiatus from WWE when Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker attacked him in France at Clash in Paris. Meanwhile, Jimmy Uso gave his honest take on his brother, Jey Uso, and his recent actions. Lately, Jey Uso hasn't been himself, as he's often angry at the Vision and LA Knight and wants Jimmy Uso by his side. The traits are very similar to those of Roman Reigns when he was the tribal chief on Friday Night SmackDown, and Uso was his right-hand man in the promotion. In an appearance on Raw Recap, Jimmy Uso was asked about Jey Uso's recent actions and the change in his behavior. Sam Roberts asked whether main event Jey is on the same path as Roman Reigns by acting like him. Big Jim stated that there's a cost that comes with being or portraying Reigns, and he's not sure of what his brother is going for. But Jey's vibes and relationships will be affected by his actions. I think it comes at a cost, acting like Roman Reigns. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you're paying for it. Whether it's through your vibes, with your relationship with people, or with your brothers, he ain't the same, bro. He ain't the same use out there. I'm telling you, I know it for a fact. What's happening is clouded. It's coming at a cost, use. This is a different kind of game, man. I ain't never seen him like this, and I don't like it because I don't even know how to respond to it, Jimmy Uso said. Jey Uso recently spent a lot of time around Roman Reigns on WWE Raw after WrestleMania 41. Jey Uso often crossed paths with the Vision and teamed up with different names on the brand to take on the villainous faction. Later, Roman Reigns returned to the Stamford-based promotion and teamed up with his former right-hand man to take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. While the Bloodline members were successful at WWE SummerSlam 2025 main event, Jey began to adopt some of his cousin's antics moving forward. In France, Roman Reigns was written off television as Breaker, and Reed attacked him, making a statement. While the original tribal chief is on a hiatus from WWE, his influence can be seen through main event Jey, and it'll be interesting to see what's next for the former World Heavyweight Champion. The Bloodline storyline has been one of WWE's most dominant sagas of the past several years, elevating Roman Reigns to tribal chief status, while also showcasing the rise of the Usos. Now, with Jey Uso venturing out as a single star after breaking away from the group, fans have noticed that certain aspects of his presentation, his confidence, his promos, and even his swagger, carry echoes of Roman Reigns himself. Following the most recent episode of WWE Raw, a real-life Bloodline member gave his honest opinion on whether Jey Uso is intentionally, or even subconsciously, acting like Roman Reigns. His comments shed light on the family dynamics within WWE, and how Jey's growth as a solo act may still be tied to his cousin's influence. Jey Uso's solo journey. After the Bloodline, when Jey Uso declared himself main event Jey Uso, it was more than just a catchy nickname. He stepped out from the shadow of his twin brother Jimmy and from under Roman Reigns' tribal chief rule. The emotional split from the Bloodline, especially after Roman and Jimmy betrayed him, has fueled Jey's singles run on Raw. His energy on the microphone, his entrance mannerisms, and his confidence in facing WWE's biggest stars all mirror the aura of a top guy. Naturally, fans have compared his demeanor to Roman Reigns, questioning if Jey is deliberately shaping himself after the head of the table. Who gave their opinion? A real-life member of the Anoa'i family, close to both Reigns and the Usos, was asked about these comparisons after WWE Raw. While the Bloodline members are bound by wrestling, tradition, and family loyalty, they are also individuals with distinct personalities. According to the family member, Jey's rise is not about imitation, but about evolution. People see Roman Reigns in Jey because Roman has been the face of the family for years. But Jey has always had that same fire even before Roman took the tribal chief role. What you're seeing now isn't Jey acting like Roman. It's Jey being given the space to shine in his own way. Of course, there are similarities because they're family. But Jey is carving his own lane. This perspective highlights how fans might confuse shared traits: confidence, presence, delivery, for mimicry when, in reality, these are hallmarks of the Anoa'i family wrestling tradition. The influence of Roman Reigns. It's undeniable that Roman Reigns' success has changed the trajectory for the Usos. For over 2 years, the Bloodline dominated WWE programming, with Roman's leadership elevating everyone around him. Jey Uso in particular benefited from this run, headlining pay-per-views against Reigns in 2020 and later becoming a key figure in the stable's dominance. In many ways, Roman Reigns forced Jey Uso to grow. Their early feud in the Thunderdome era showed fans that Jey could be a credible singles competitor, not just one half of a legendary tag team. Roman's style, slow, deliberate promos, commanding presence, and calculated in-ring psychology, rubbed off on Jey, whether consciously or not. Still, Jey's current persona carries its own flavor. His catchphrases like "Yeet," his connection with the crowd, and his underdog energy stand in contrast to Roman's cold, ruthless tribal chief character. Fan reactions and social media buzz after Raw. Social media was buzzing with fans drawing comparisons between Jey and Roman. Some praised Jey for embodying the same energy that made Roman a top star. Main event Jey Uso is starting to look like Tribal Chief Jr. He's got that presence now. You can see Roman's influence on him, but Jey is still doing it his way. That's why fans love him. Others, however, argued that Jey should lean less on the Roman-style delivery and focus on being distinct. Jey needs to step further away from Roman's shadow. He has the charisma but sometimes feels too similar. Love Jey. But if he starts sounding like Roman too much, people will see him as a copy. This division among fans shows the fine line Jey walks, honoring his family legacy while trying to establish his independence. The real-life family dynamic. Anoa'i family has produced some of the biggest stars in wrestling history. Yokozuna, Rikishi, Umaga, The Rock, Roman Reigns, and now the Usos. Growing up in that environment means there will always be similarities in how family members carry themselves inside and outside the ring. The real-life family member who commented emphasized that Roman's influence doesn't mean Jey is copying him. Instead, it's about cultural pride, family tradition, and the natural leadership qualities passed down through generations. When you grow up in this family, you're taught to carry yourself with confidence, with respect, and with presence. That's what fans are seeing in Jey. Roman has that. The Usos have that. Solo Sikoa has that. It's who we are. What this means for Jey's future. The comparisons to Roman Reigns may never fully go away, especially as long as the Bloodline storyline continues in some form. However, Jey Uso's trajectory shows promise for a sustained singles career. On Raw, Jey has been positioned against top stars like Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes. His crowd reactions prove that fans believe in him as more than just a tag team wrestler. If WWE continues to build him as a solo act, Jey could potentially reach main event status on his own terms. A family member's endorsement only reinforces this possibility. Rather than being a Roman Reigns imitator, Jey is developing into his own version of a main event player, still carrying echoes of his cousin, but with his own voice and style. Could Jey versus Roman happen again? The prospect of another Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns match remains one of WWE's most emotionally charged possibilities. Their 2020 feud set the tone for Roman's tribal chief run, and a rematch could serve as a symbolic passing of the torch if Roman eventually steps back. If WWE decides to revisit the feud, Jey's current growth on Raw will only make the story richer. His confidence, his crowd connection, and his individuality would allow him to stand toe-to-toe with Roman in a way that feels less like cousin versus cousin and more like two fully established stars colliding. The question of whether Jey Uso is acting like Roman Reigns is understandable, given their shared history and family legacy. But according to a real-life Bloodline member, the truth is more nuanced. Jey isn't copying Roman. He's simply stepping into the spotlight that Roman helped create, while bringing his own unique flavor to the role. WWE thrives on generational storytelling, and the Anoa'i family has provided decades of it. As Jey Uso continues to evolve, the comparisons to Roman Reigns may linger, but the key takeaway is this: Jey is proving he belongs in the conversation of top singles stars in WWE today. His journey is still unfolding, but one thing is certain: main event Jey Uso is no longer in anyone's shadow.